Y'all, there is some seriously wild allegations involving Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Aaliyah. Yes, you heard that right. This tea is so hot it might just burn your tongue. So let's start with the tea spiller extraordinaire, Jaguar Wright. Y'all, this woman has had her foot on Beyonce's neck for years, and she is not letting up anytime soon. Jaguar's been dropping hints left and right that she's got some major dirt on Queen Bey, and now she's finally spilling some of it. And trust me, it's juicier than a Georgia peach.
Carter is worse.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
He's smarter. He's patient. He's not sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
This been lining up people he calls friends and stepping to the side while they get hit by the guillotine for 30 years.
Now, before we dive in, let me remind y'all that these are all allegations. We don't have concrete proof, so take it with a grain of salt, okay? But one thing's for sure, Jaguar Wright does not play when it comes to exposing the Carters. In a recent interview with Piers Morgan, Jaguar dropped a bombshell. She claimed that Jay-Z was allegedly the mastermind behind the #MeToo movement. Now, I know what you're thinking. What does Jay-Z have to do with the hashtag #MeToo? Well, according to Jaguar, it was all a ploy to distance himself from R. Kelly and hide evidence of their relationship. She says Jay-Z bankrolled the whole movement just to save his own skin.
The MeToo movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the MeToo campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the MeToo movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
But hold on to your wigs, besties, because that's not even the wildest part. Jaguar then went on to make a claim that had everyone's jaws on the floor. She hinted that Beyonce might have had something to do with Aaliyah's tragic passing. I know, it sounds absolutely crazy, but let's hear what she had to say.
I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Y'all, I am shook. Now, rumors about foul play in Aaliyah's death aren't new, but most people have always pointed fingers at Jay-Z. This is the first time someone's dragging Beyonce into it. Let's rewind a bit and set the scene. Back in the early 2000s, Aaliyah was the it girl in Hollywood. She wasn't just one of the biggest female stars, she might have been the biggest star, period. And you know what that means? She had admirers coming out of the woodwork, including Jay-Z and his bestie at the time, Dame Dash. Now, here's where it gets messy. Aaliyah was out here living her best life, going on dates with both Jay-Z and Dame. Can you imagine? 2 friends competing for the same girl. It's like a recipe for disaster.
I kind of eased up, but then we ran into each other. It's a long story.
So you and Jay was both getting at Aaliyah. Obviously,
everybody was getting at Aaliyah, bro.
Right.
She was like, you know, she'll go to dinner with a, but she wasn't going to just be smashing. So that was like the big deal, like who could get with Aaliyah.
Of course, jealousy kicked in pretty quick. Aaliyah was out here juggling both men, and they were probably giving each other the side eye every chance they got. It's no wonder things went south real fast.
True reason of Rockefeller's breaking.
But that's, everybody knows that. Like we were both. I
heard it, but I didn't.
Yeah, but they be trying to act like he was like really whatnot. He was sending flowers and doing all this shit that he was courting her. So we would both go on.
Now, we all know Jay-Z doesn't take L's lightly. So when Aaliyah finally decided to hook up with Dame at a 4th of July party they were all at, you know, things got tense.
Funny because Biggs is up under him now. But it was really Jay and Biggs that had the problem. Like, they had the beef. You know what I mean? Like, I was always just like, let's just be friends. Like, I just want to be brothers. You know, that's all I wanted, was us to be cool. And, yeah. So, I forgot what I was going. What was I talking about?
And we was just talking about Jay-Z doing the album with
R. Kelly.
With R. Kelly, even though he knew that.
I got it.
Aaliyah.
So one of the things that, to squash the beef, also I was like, well, and either way, I was like, well, I'm not, just don't put my name on that. I don't want no money from that. If it is, put it to Aaliyah Foundation.
Jaguar Wright even claimed that Aaliyah was the reason Jay-Z and Dame's friendship fell apart. Apparently, Jay was just that salty about losing Aaliyah to his friend. After all this drama, Jay-Z moved on to Beyonce, but the streets were convinced he still had the hots for Aaliyah. And to make matters worse, there was apparently a lot of competition between Beyonce and Aaliyah at the time. Can you imagine being in that weird love triangle? Yikes. But then, tragedy struck. Aaliyah passed away suddenly in a plane crash, and suddenly, Beyonce got the man and the status. Now here's where things get super shady. The circumstances surrounding Aaliyah's death were suspicious from the jump. Aaliyah was in the Bahamas filming a music video. The shoot was originally supposed to be in Florida, but the director, Hype Williams, decided to move the whole thing to the Bahamas without even checking with Aaliyah first. When it was time to head back to Florida, they got stuck because there was no transportation. Aaliyah's friend Lenny Kravitz was ready to send his jet to fly her home. But then Hype Williams stepped in, saying he had another flight arranged. Y'all, this replacement plane was a disaster from the first look. It was way too small for Aaliyah and the crew. It was overloaded. And to make matters worse, reports say the pilot was under the influence. Multiple eyewitnesses revealed that Aaliyah had a bad feeling about the whole situation and refused to get on the plane. This is where it gets really dark, besties. Allegedly, her team forced her to take a sedative and carried her on board while she was unconscious. This is what Jaguar was referring to in her Piers Morgan interview. Tragically, the plane crashed shortly after takeoff, and Aaliyah and everyone on board lost their lives. What made this even more suspicious is that several insiders like Mary J. Blige have boldly spoken out in the past about how there was more to Aaliyah's death than we knew. She even hinted that Aaliyah was sacrificed.
I just know that that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair.
Now, the streets are convinced that Jaguar Wright is trying to tell us that Beyonce was allegedly the one who took Aaliyah out because she wanted the man and the fame. It's a wild accusation, and I cannot stress enough that these are all allegations without solid proof. Fans have been going wild in the comments. One person wrote, Beyonce was so jealous of Aaliyah. Another said, Beyonce is complicit in this mess. She knows more than what she is telling. And someone else commented, personally, I am done with the whole mess, and the stuff that I'm finding out about Beyonce's evil self is crazy and scary. So what do we make of all this, besties? Is Jaguar Wright spilling some long-hidden truths? Or is this all just wild speculation? Are Beyonce and Jay-Z really involved in something so dark and twisted? Or is this just the latest chapter in celebrity gossip gone wild? Here's what I think. We've got to remember that these are some serious allegations being thrown around. We're talking life and death stuff here. It's easy to get caught up in the drama of it all, but we've got to be careful about jumping to conclusions without solid evidence. That being said, the circumstances around Aaliyah's death have always been suspicious. The last-minute change of plans, the sketchy plane, the reports of Aaliyah being forced onto the plane, it all paints a pretty disturbing picture. But let's also remember who we're talking about here. Beyonce and Jay-Z are two of the most powerful and influential people in the entertainment industry. They've got teams of people working to protect their image. If there was any truth to these allegations, you'd think it would have come out before now, right? Then again, money talks, and power can cover up a lot of sins. We've seen it happen before in Hollywood. Just look at all the scandals that have come to light in recent years that people thought were just crazy rumors at first. At the end of the day, we might never know the whole truth, but one thing's for sure, this story isn't going away anytime soon. If Jaguar Wright keeps spilling tea like this, we're in for one wild ride. So what do you think, besties? Are you buying what Jaguar's selling, or do you think this is all just smoke and mirrors? Do you think there's any truth to the allegations about Beyonce and Jay-Z, or is this just another case of celebrity gossip gone wild? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and hey, while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more piping hot tea. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. This is Hot Gossip signing off. Stay fabulous, stay curious, and never stop sipping that tea. Bye.